today's topic is secure privilege access without breaking ops. So just-in-time access with JumpCloud and Segura eliminate static credential with keeping teams productivity. Okay, so this is the agenda. So why this is matter? Why we need to take care about the credential and why we need just-in-time access? And what's the good like, how with the best practice. So some deep dive with JumpCloud and some deep dive with Sakura. So they looks very similar, both of them handling access and credentials, but they work for different area actually. So they can be work together. Some use case only need JumpCloud, some use case only Sakura. So we'll explain later on. So how will it better together? How it work together? So also talk about some how to handle objection, how to ask questions to get your leads and to find out who are your customer. So what we will have a takeaway today for sales side. Duplicate. Sorry. Oops. Yeah, I need oops. Yeah. I want to. Yeah. So for sales side, you will have one sentence to pitch your customers, 5 questions to qualify the leads, and 4 objections that you can handle. Yeah. For engineer, you will understand how the structure of JumpCloud and Segura, how it works, and how does the just-in-time mechanism works, and how to phase out the current operations, because we are talking about how to doing the just-in-time without breaking the operation, right? So for both that you can have some knowledge about the privilege access and just-in-time. So what's matter now? What's happening? So let's talk about the breaches. So the numbers is misleading actually. The 31 is not the most, right? The 39 is the most. So 31% of breaches is come with vulnerabilities and exploits. So that has been told for many years. So you need to patch, update your system. But recently we find that actually it's not the most vector of attack or how we get in. Nowadays, most of the attack is come from credential leakage or account takeover. So the hackers is locking in your system. They're not breaking in. So how do you manage your credentials and the access and monitor them is really become important. Okay. So what's happening? What's the problem? Why that's happened? First of all, most of the users have their local admin right on their computer. So they can install software, they can change many things, all the system settings, uninstall software, including your endpoints, DLP, security tools, if you don't have proper protection. So there's a number one problems. And many high privilege password has been shared for many years without changing it. So I still can call a few organization or government departments share admin password. Yeah, I still remember the username and password, okay? Because they use it for more than 10 years. So maybe some hackers also know that. Yeah, that's a problem too. And also there's some domain system or service account that will have a service credential, which also will never change the password. Okay, so once the service account being leaked, it also possible be used to do some hacking or data breach or stealing data. Okay, number 4, for VPN that may be given to outsourcers, maybe one of us. Yeah, also have persistent and never change your password. Maybe you use the same outsourcer, or even you change your outsourcer, the username password for the VPN haven't they never change. So 3 different outsourcer using the same credential and password to the VPN. That's very bad, right? And also the cloud rose quietly growth. So sometimes you even give some access to third party or internal with a high privilege account. So some users like log into AWS or Google Cloud with the root password all the time, anyone, without any accountability. So everyone uses the same password. If anyone thinks something wrong, no one's who this is. Everyone say no, not me, but the system is down. Yeah. Don't. Also, we have an AI agentic problem. Yeah. So take note on that. And even some organizations have their PAM solution, privilege access management, or those IAM, because there will be we always have a backup plan, right? So we usually call breaker glass. So you have some backup web path to lock in the system in case the PAM or the IAM is dead, right? But the breaker glass account or path used daily. That means abuse, right? And that means what? That means the proper protected path is abundant. Always use the shortcut. You did nothing actually. So that's what's happening and why we have problem on the privilege access and the day-to-day operation, just because the credential not being controlled and managed. Okay. So something about Singapore. So there's a ransomware going up, and there is a regulation pressure. Like MAS has some control that you need to apply for privilege access. Yeah. Yes, still growing. Some statistics that is down. Yeah, but actually, if you globally maybe down, but APEC is good. Yeah. But you see these figures. 62% of because of human element. So the weakest link. Yeah.
They will implement, but they will not implement unless.
Yeah. I will say yes, that can be should be getting down. True, but
when you got hit once, you will get hit again and again and again.
if you didn't find out the root cause and change how you run the system and the mindset of the people, right?
Because a lot of times people will feel like, I'll get away, I'll get away.
Yeah. Something very simple. Everyone knows now I need to turn on MFA for many accounts, and the senior say C level say I don't want MFA. They're done. Yeah, but
Because they can hijack your.
yes, but that you'll be you will be totally open if you don't have MMA at all, right? You have a simple stupid password lock better than no lock, ma. Yes, that can be.
Because they don't have anti-ransomware.
That we always talk about the multi-layer protection. In each layer, you may have a enhancement on the fight against a ransomware or whatever. But the essence now is if you got taken over by privileged account, sometimes they simply remove and disable all your defense. Even help you to remote disable or remove your backup. Yeah, disable your. Okay, of course you can do immutable backup, but they drop your whole bucket with the privilege access. Then you have nothing. You're gone, right? They say someone say, "Oh, I have a save source code and some important file in the GitHub." They delete your project. Then you cannot roll back. Yeah, right. the file within the project you can roll back anytime with Git, but if you drop the project, it's gone. So yes, we have many mechanisms to protect against, but now the problem is the privileged access account. Yeah, because once you got the highest. Uh-huh. Yeah. Yes. Because no. The point is you at the end of the day you do need a highest privilege access account, right? You cannot remove it. Yes and no lah, because it depends how they things works. Like for example, for some cloud solutions, even you have the highest admin privilege, but default some of the features is off, right? And they always suggest not to use that root account. Like for AWS, they always suggest you create your own username and then evaluate your privilege when you change your role, right? So this more or less is best practice. But the problem is helmet, because it's so troublesome. I use the root access all the time, right? So here, that's why we need some solutions to enforce, okay, and to separate the user and the privilege account. At least they will not tap on the user all the time, okay. So even your personal account being stolen, still have some mechanism to block it, to monitor it, to rotate, because things getting too sticky to one of the person that you are difficult to rotate the privilege, revoke the privilege. Just like if you only have one and only one admin account on your cloud, you won't change it, right? You cannot delete it, right? Because you have only one. So that's why we need privilege access management. We need access management to separate the personal access and the privilege access. Then you can adopt and apply more control. And for those high privilege account, we still can limit their functionalities. Like we can simply block the command of delete, rm, etc. Then you save many things already, right? So yeah, so when somewhere, this is CSA, so this is local Singapore. Okay, Singapore actually is a M shape for companies, right? We have governments, big companies with lots of budget, do lots of investment or protection, security, monitoring. But we still have many SMEs. So like her, do you guess they have a security guy to monitor the system? I don't think so. She may be the only one, right? And she may host a website, right, for herself, or one or two guys. They may have all the problem I mentioned, right? And many this kind of company in Singapore. So that's why we will have more. They more or less is attacking those SME, not the big DBS. Not saying not possible, but not worth to work on that. Yeah, because not too difficult to get in. Of course, coincident you got a branch office and something, they find a loophole, definitely they will go for it, right? But the fact is still going up. Yeah, not very big, but more on SMB. So that's the current situation, I would say. So that's why government on those or those regular authorities pushing you guys do like do the EDR, do MFA, suggest you guys to do cyber essential, because they know they cannot turn everyone mindset one day, just one steps, but by those educational step by step. Yeah, so that's the things are. And the last thing is the operational pressure, because we are getting more and more things to do, right? We have to do this and do that, but we still have same budget or even less budget, less people. So we need some tools to help. Yeah. Okay. So why privilege access project have importance? So Sometimes the pilots never ends, and the admin revocation and the approvals queue become the outage, and nobody owns it after go live. So why the project cannot success now? I was thought, yeah. So the pilot never ends, so they will still control a small area, and they have some problem of the revoke of those accumulated accounts, and sometimes the approval process is not efficient enough, I would say. So they will maybe the approval process is longer, the operation itself. That can be a problem. So sometimes it's we can do some like semi-auto approval, or just you give a reason that you can go ahead for those less sensitive accounts, um, and there will be ownership problems. Yeah, yeah, that can be a main issue lah. So 5 ways to privilege access break the operations. So what's the bad things? Then there are also bad things. Okay, so so a ticket for every evaluations. So help desk engage the user and then do lots of things. Yeah, and that's a problem because um, the admin have too many privilege on those endpoints, and sometimes the user have too much secure endpoints privilege, and share admin access. So as I said, we share the credential, so there's no accountability. VPN or the third parties, and the manual offboarding, so also a problem. So there is no automation for the removing some privileges or disable accounts. Because nowadays we not just only have an AD or Android ID, we have so many accounts in different SaaS applications. You may have a SAP, you may have a Dropbox, you have a Google, and I don't know, many. Then once the people left, you may disable the Android ID, but those high privilege or some admin accounts still there, right? Because you forgot to remove or disable it. Of course, you're burning money with nothing, and also you open the door to abuse. So that can be a problem. So we need some automation to make sure onboarding and offboarding is automated, not just because saving time, but make sure you don't have those unnecessary account floating around. Okay, and secret pipelines. There's more on the applications credentials. Nowadays, we get more and more like Dockers, containers. So they use lots of application credential, and maybe bad habit developers will hard code the code, the credential or secret, either on the source code or on some plain text file and floating around. That can be also a source of data leak, and they are difficult to rotate and manage them. So we need some solution to handle those application credentials. Yep. So how to make it good for all those bad things? So just-in-time access is quite not very new, but not everyone implementing it. But it is quite effective way to minimize the attack surface and minimize the privilege access being used. So the whole process will be someone requests the access, that you may have auto or manual approval, then you grant the access. And at that time, the privilege will assign to the people at that moment. So before the approval or the system assignment, you are only a simple user. You don't have admin access, but you can get admin access just in time. And the last thing is the most important one. The privilege access or the role assignment will be expired. Okay. So for example, on average operation of the admin access for the server, maybe 2 hours. So the just-in-time will be access will be expired after 2 hours. Of course, you can extend during your operation, of you almost done, then you can get approval again, then you can extend access, or you have some rules that okay, you can auto extend for 1 or 2 times maximum. After that, You know, people after finish the job, they're being exhausted, they will usually forget to remove their access. But don't worry, just in time will auto expire your privilege. That means there will no one have the admin access anymore. Okay, so that's how just in time works and why we should consider using just in time access for especially for the privilege account, including local admin. Okay, so standard privileges versus zero standing privileges. That means just in time. Okay, standing privilege, that means a like an administrator account assigned to those group of administrators. That's very common, right? So we are IT team, we are a network team, so we have the privilege access to those managed server. But that's not a good idea because in case your account being abused or stolen, then the hackers got the privilege access, right? So the standard admin rights will be stuck on the user forever. The credential may be long lasting and won't rotate at all. Even you have a password rotation requirement, it takes 3 months, right? Or 1 month. But just in time can be rotated in each time. So the password will not stand, okay? And the access will be, we will not that frequent because we have, even you have SIM, you have others monitoring tools, because the normal access, it looks like normal, right? Because of your account being stolen, it also using account to access. It will looks like you, right? Of course, there may be some vector that you have to monitor, like when you log in, where you log in from, but also it looks very similar. So that's why standing privilege is not easy to find if there is a abuse of account takeover. So offboarding depends on remember because you need to remove the access in case the people change department or left the company. So for the just in time seal standing a privilege, so no account will be administrator anytime, just when they use it. The credential can be rotated at each time, so that no one knows actual admin password. And the access will be reviewed each time continuously, and we have approval process to make sure the privilege access is necessary. Okay. So there will be a 4 tiers of access. So how we separate the access. So everyday user is tier 1, endpoint admin is tier 2, privileged infrastructure access is tier 3, and application and tokens is tier 4. Okay, so that will should have different group access giving out to different group of people with different limitation. Okay, so for example, access token never assigned to human. Okay, on the other hand, human account never assigned to applications, but sometimes not the case. Especially you use a fixed account, people will abuse and mix using it. And infrastructure accounts should be only for those have the right or necessary to use it, right? So those firewall switches, jump server, so those privileged accounts should be assigned to someone that on that. Okay. So there's the structure, identity, device, privilege, and audit. So we need to do identity to make sure the one login is that guy before we give any access, and also we should have assigned a device to that account. So for by default, Enter ID, AD don't have this control, right? Once you have an account, you can log into any device in your AD. Yeah, usually won't do that. You can by default you can log into any device, but that shouldn't be that. Okay, shouldn't be happen. So we should control who can access which device by default. Okay, or another way, if you don't assign device, they should log in none of the device. And the privilege also, by default, you are only user account. You should not have any admin access or access to any um, security device or whatever. So audit, of course, you have to monitor all the things. Okay. So how to achieve all these complex, it look complex, but actually not that case. We have two solutions. As I mentioned, JumpCloud and Segura. So JumpCloud is more on user access. They have some a little bit of PAM, but privilege access, but they're only for those system that have their agent. So they cannot cover network and others. So that's why we need Secure. So JumpCloud more on computers. So how it works? So they have a single identity pool. So it can integrate with AD, your cloud identity like a Google Workspace, Entra ID, or Okta, or your SAP, or Facebook, whatever credential you have. So you can synchronize and aggregate into one platform to manage all the identity. Then you can manage the access. Okay, so for example, this user can access to which NAS, which computer, log into which uh, SaaS application through single sign-on, MFA, and just in time. So we can have a central place to manage all the user access to any system with any credential. Okay, and the device itself not just only assign you to those device. We also have some secure posture control, patch management, software access, MDM, all of that. Yeah, and also SaaS and AI. So you can do single sign-on to let user to log into different SaaS. So for example, if there are new sales staff, okay, and board, you may create an Entra ID account that will automatically sync to JumpCloud, and then it will also you may do just in time. For example, the sales have access to SaaS, SAP, and also maybe Google Drive. So before they really start to work, you need not to create an account for him. Okay, for when he first access to the SAP or the Google Drive, we can create an account on the fly in the backend. Why? Because first, we don't need to excessive access. So when they don't use the system, you don't need to create a credential there. When they use the system you create, then you can control less access as possible and save money. Because like for some middle-sized company, they may have like a 5 to 10 SaaS application for all the staff. But maybe only 50% or only 10% of staff will use all the SaaS, right? Maybe they will use 80% of the application for each of the staff. So you need not to create those credentials. Okay, that means you need not to be charged on those cloud applications before they use access it. Okay. On the other hand, when they offboard leave the company, we can help you to automate close down to remove those access. So you need not to do it one by one, and make sure you don't have access extra accounts there, and you won't be billed for extra. So that's how JumpCloud works. So there will be a access request. I don't go very depth. I'll share the slides to you because I don't want to keep it too long. So the life cycle of a user, not just for joining and leaving, also moving. So there will be a problem of stacking permission for some traditional like AD, because when you access a role, they will add you to the group. They may sometimes forget to remove you from the old groups. Then you may need have extra access. For example, day one I joined as a CS staff, so I can access the CS system. Then next year I promote to the network admin, I have a network access. Third year I go to network server admin, I have a server access. And the last 10 years, I do system admin and developers for project manager. Then I have a whole system, any access for any computers and any system, right? CS, network, servers, application. That's bad, right? So if you have a JumpCloud, they help you to move it. So when you move from CS to network, then you will remove from the access for CS, then you have the access for network. And we not just moving you from the groups, we also help you to remove access if you have then some SaaS application, like you may have some ticketing system and others, they will separate third-party SaaS. You need not to do it manually. After we integrate, we will remove it. Okay. So and the leavers, so you leave the company, will move on, of course, right? So also we have some conditional access capability. So for example, for CS, you're not sales, so you're probably with sitting in Singapore to helping your customer. So your credentials should not be accessed outside Singapore. So then we control it. And you should have your shift, then we will not allow you to log in after your shift. Maybe you have 1 or 2 hours buffer, whatever, but you shouldn't access you, for example, on Sunday, midnight, something like that, right? Because hacker do their job at that time. So we continue access, we block those. Okay. So and one identity everywhere. You need not to remember like a 10 accounts for 10 systems, and then you have 10 sticker on your monitor. That's bad, right? So you just one password, one credential, one MFA as all the system. Okay, and device banding, as I said. So they will not allow you to access others' computer with your credential, no matter what your purpose is. Okay, so they have also the same. We have just in time for JumpCloud. So after you think about those computers and system, because JumpCloud is agent-based solutions with the cloud, so we can only control those credential using on those systems. So in case you want to control the access to, like for example, uh, on those network device or some cloud solutions, then you may need a privileged access. And because JumpCloud, we don't have a recording for user access mainly. So for Segura, we do recording for all the access, and we have some capability to do like command control. Some command you cannot run, okay? And also credential management for those application, you need Segura. So now we talk about Segura. So Segura in one slide. So Segura is a privileged access management tools. So we mainly handle like a high privilege access, and we have a core DOMA to do remote access. There will be a just-in-time, one-time access from anywhere. So we can allow you to access back your maybe core server from New Zealand. Of course, you in case you are really on business trip, not for vacation, we can allow you to do that, and there will be a one-time link to access it back without exposed to the internet. Okay, and we also have a endpoint privilege manager. So we also have control on the UAC control. When you have evaluate your access in your endpoints, we can manage it. We can record it, and without you need not know the password. You just say I want to get the local admin. We get approved, then your account will be local admin, and then we start to do recording. Okay, and we also DevOps secret manager. So as I said, we can control the application control, and also we have some cloud access management and certificate manager. So we can help you to manage those certificates, because nowadays, besides we need application credentials, we heavily rely on the certificate on the service. So the especially for different cloud to cloud authentication, first we authenticate with cert, then we authenticate with the credential. So you may need to deploy and renew your certs to not just few server. In the old days, you may have 10 server, 20 server, but if you're running on Dockers, containers, Kubernetes, it talking about thousands, right? That's not possible to be human manageable. So we have some auto rotate, auto deploy mechanism in Sakura on certificates. So for the core PM, what we do, we discover all the credentials, we keep it in vault, we do the assignment to different users and access and privilege and roles. We do the password rotate and record what you did. So we do session recording. Okay, so you can governance all the access, uh, who, when, where, what. Okay, of course we support 3 layers of approval. In case there is a most top admin account, you may need additional layer approval. For day-to-day, usually 1 layer, okay? So we support 3 layer at most, okay? So that's a very good. Also, we have just in time, so we can create temporary accounts, let you to access the admin server. After that, it will expire and the account will disappear. We will remove it. So the admin account you are using daily maybe never exists. Just only exists when you use it. Okay, so there will be minimize the chance for hackers to steal your privileged account because that will be a temp account and not persistent. And the password will not persistent. Okay, and also we also provide the endpoint admin account also just in time. So that create lots of trouble for hackers because sometimes they start to hacking or endpoints or workstations, right? Then try to on the server. But there's no active admin account on the system. Then how can you hack it, right? DOMA is a remote access, as I said mentioned. So you can replace VPN. You need not to have VPN. You just use DOMA. So when you give the access to your outsourcers, each time they access, they will log into the portal, and the portal will generate a one-time session for them with a URL. Then they click on the URL, they put the SSL, some similar to SSL, but that is a temporary as tunnel. Okay, then they can access the credential, user credential. No, they use but cannot see. Okay, to access their accounts to target like a server, web portal of your firewall or SSH to your Linux, whatever. So all will be recorded and there will be no direct exposed to the internet. So all come with a one-time link. So then no VPN anymore, no fixed account anymore. And there was no open ports because there's those reverse access. Okay, so you need not to expose anything, just the HTTP. Those HTTPS is hosted by the vendor, not your data center. Your data center is doing an outgoing connection to our server, so no exposure. You can close all the firewall ports, but you still can remote with authentication. You can approval with recording, everything. Okay. So beyond the password vault, we do endpoint privilege manager. We do the application management. We also do the cloud element manager. So with those Segura and JumpCloud, we join together to help you to manage from the end user to privilege access all together. Okay. So how we work together? So as I mentioned, if JumpCloud is doing the universal identity manager to all your credentials, manage your endpoint device, do the day-to-day operation approval and privilege access, and also we can do some endpoint updates, management, and monitoring. For Segura, we manage all those high privilege credentials, device credentials, network device, and even like IoT device you can put in Segura because we have a very flexible integration engine that you can integrate almost everything. Okay. So the three scenario that we will comment. So if there is a professional service firm, they not likely with an AD, they have like a bunch of PC that have many of those using cloud service only. Then you may sell them JumpCloud. They can manage all the endpoints. No need to use Segura. Yeah, because all the access starting from the endpoints. Okay. So the second one is a financial related FIS. So they may be more or less is more concerned on those their cloud the server's access or network device. So you can give them privilege access control like Segura, and also they control bound by the MA's regulations. So they will likely to do privilege access management first. Okay, and they have large number of end users. They can be goes very big bill for JumpCloud actually. So if there is a manufacturer with OT device and quite many using like third parties vendors, you may consider both for them. Okay. So last slide is how talk about how to roll out stuff. So because we are talking about what's the problems, how to fix it in very detail. Yeah, what we do. So what's the typical rollout process is we do discovery first. So we discover all the privileged access user accounts on your local and cloud system. Then we do a contain. So we put it all together and contain it, put it in a system. Then we have the control. Then we provide the, we still need to provide the breaker glass, okay? We don't cannot remove because always have a backup plan. Then we start to expire those privileged access for the users. Okay, they start to use our privileged access management and JumpCloud and also Segura. So that deployment process can ensure they can remove the high privilege access from the administrators without affecting them too much to their daily operations, including those approval process, some signal that I don't go very deep, just give you some example. So when we will say success, people really using our system, the approval going smooth, they don't use the breakthrough class too much, only when, for example, the approval in vacation or in meetings, that's fine. Yeah, on the other way around, when we the signal that we need to refine our policy, like they use the breakthrough class too much, they bypass the system, or they don't roll out to any others. And we always start with some smaller groups. It need not to be very less sensitive because sometimes less sensitive is getting more accounts and more users. We can start with some sensitive server, small group of users, because we need not to rotate to remove the access at the very beginning. We do the monitoring and the management first. The last stage, we expire those standing privilege, then we take over and do rotation and control and just in time. So that's how we just suggest the whole process, how you from the or traditional standing privilege to manage access, separate your credential, last you go just in time. So that's how the process goes. So last a few things that problems, I skipped it. So it's few questions that discovery questions. How many people you have a local admin on the laptops? Some people have multiple local admin. That's not a joke, right? Because every user a local admin. If share computers or computers shifting one to another, some people really don't format it. Yeah, I don't know why. Anyway, but that create lots of problems there. So if engineer leave today, how long you can remove their admin access? Yeah, so there may be a first generation engineer 20 years back, the admin access may be still there. So you can ask them this question, maybe sharing with the others using all the time. So how many external parties accessing your system and how they get it? Usually they say like TeamViewer, VPN. So ask them if in case they leak, do you know that? How you rotate? So that'd be a very good question. Fourth, you will if you ask what your senior admin type on the server on last Tuesday, could you do this? So can you recall who did what, right? Definitely cannot. Yeah. But actually it is required for some compliance requirement, and it's important that you need to know who did what, and not to accuse someone, but sometimes you will find there's not none of you guys did it. Is someone shouldn't be assigning is assigning it. Okay, who approved privilege access at 2 a.m. on Sunday, right? So you may need some mechanism to do approval, or you may on the other hand, there shouldn't be approval, shouldn't access on Sunday, right? But you may not have a system to monitor it fully, okay? Because sometimes they do it just a timeout mechanism. There's no one approved for like a 1 hour auto approve. That can be good, but that can be very bad. Okay, you may need some conditional access on that also. So what happened last time, you had to remove a shared credential. So shared credential is alarming also. So this compliance, I don't want to repeat. So there's a MAS, PDPA, ISO, Cyber Essential, um, and custom questionnaires, whatever. So you need to, if you need to follow those compliance, you need a access control and also PAM. I don't go through this. Objection handling. Yeah, I will send you guys to share. Okay, so let's go to the last slide. Last slide. Yeah. So anyway, so we go backward. So we need to how to we do the rollout as I mentioned. So we roll out how to roll out system. We do discovery first. We put in our system. We start to manage, and then we start to put in the approval process. Last, we remove the access to expire the setting privilege to make sure we have a smooth operation, but we have proper control all the access. Yeah. Second is we put in 4 tiers, so different tiers of access should have different control. Day-to-day operation shouldn't put an approval. You can just use JumpCloud to do that. High privilege access, sensitive system, you should use Segura and put approval. The just-in-time mechanism help you to minimize the possibility for any credential being abused, because without proper approval and the just-in-time process, the credential doesn't exist. Okay, so standing privilege is a problem, so we should use some mechanism to remove it. So that's all I want to share for today. Maybe a little bit long, but I think it's worth to go through all the details, because nowadays privilege privilege is the number one problem for being no matter ransomware, data breach, hacking, account system takeover, yeah, and ransomware, many things. Okay, that's all for today. Any question for me?
For all said, human is still the most.
Yeah, so that's why we
System can deploy, we can roll out, but human.
yeah, I agree. So
Not that anything.
so that's why we try to minimize the possibility that can abuse, because if the account they have no privilege access, they can did nothing. So that's first number one. And we adopt so monitoring and approval process and accountability, because nowadays we still using share accounts. So the account may be administrator or network admin. You don't know who did this, right? So they'll be much more careless. Now they need to do approval. So his boss know he logging in, okay? And he know what his behavior will be logged and recorded. So they will put a little bit more careful. I won't say extra, but a little bit more. And we can and we do have more precise control on what they can do, because in all this you administrator can do everything, but if you have privilege access management tools, we can limit, like for example, what application they open or what command they can type. So we remove some very dangerous command or some command they need to approve, then we can minimize the human errors by this sense, because we cannot eliminate, because still have room for errors, but we minimize, and at least we have all the recording, and we have the accountability to accuse someone if really someone did something wrong. Yeah, so we have traced, because there's so many story heard, like they found the problems, they knew who did this, they try to call the police, but they don't have log. They have a log, but the log is administrator A doing this, not the human login. They cannot pinpoint who did this. Then case closed. Then no case. Okay. Yeah. Even though those like uh, insider threats, they mean to do something harm to the company. You cannot
But in
do
many
anything.
cases,
Mm-hmm.
company will not want to make it that how to say go legal with this person unless the issue is really huge that it hurts the company in some way.
But you cannot do the protection after you face the problem.
Correct. But like I say, a lot of bosses they will not want to do that. They don't want to go that extreme unless it really hurts the company.
Yeah, but if you ask administrator or business owner, do you want to have a records who did what? They will say yes.
Yeah, but depends if they value IT, if they want to have kind of budget to roll out. So I see like this is something very good to have. But how are you going to make this thing more sellable? Because from what I see, it's good.
Yeah.
But your selling point.
Okay.
What's the selling point between human, money, and the security?
So how to handle objection?
How you?
Okay. So first of all, when we have good time to sell it, for example, when there's a, for example, there's a data breach or there's an incident. Okay, when there's incident, they will find that they don't have logs. Okay, then they find that they must deploy that. Then will, of course, they will go for data. Okay, and sometimes there will be some audit. So in case they are regulated or they have some internal control, they will not. They will find that they don't have proper control of the access and logs. They will need that. Okay, and in case they have a when they want to buy cyber insurance, okay, or renew their cyber insurance, they're getting more and more adoption of cyber insurance. Yeah, so they one of the requirement, I would say requirement is you have a privilege access and you have a lot of those things. If you don't, your premium will be high. So they always nowadays getting more common for cyber insurance. In case the customer using cyber insurance, they will find that they need to do like access control, they need to do EDR, backup, whatever, all those things to do. So, of course, there will be others like a warning if there is a larger news for some data breach or ransomware, they are in the same industry, then you can tell them why they will be in ransom, why they will have data breach. It's not because they don't have any rights, not because they don't update the system, because their account being stolen. That's true. Then you start to have news telling you that the credential being abused and others. Even also you can go when people ask you, how can I manage on those agentic AI? Right, the AI do lots of bad things, right? You can limit by the credential that you give to AI with the system. One is DLP, one is privilege access control. Because I don't care this account is being used by agent or human. I monitor you, I control your access, I limit your access. That's it. You cannot do things more than that. But if you just give an administrator account of an AD or your SaaS application, you can delete your system. Yeah. You heard that there's a company that 9 seconds. They just use 9 seconds, delete the production database, delete the whole web applications, and delete their cloud storage with the backups. So they have nothing. What happened? They have to find a 3 months old backup from something. Maybe usually developers do the backup for testing, then roll that back, and then they check all the emails to manually type in all the things. Why? Because so they use some AI. No, assume that's very common. Really, Yes, yes. That, yeah. That's it's AI. So that's AI. So that's why, yeah. So that's why if you don't have feature access, yeah. You don't have feature access control, yeah, because they will once you give them the access, okay, usually they will ask you for approval for some big changes, right? But they sometimes don't. And you ask them why, we'll just say, sorry, I don't do this because I don't want to, you block my way. I want to finish my job. Then we'll finish it. Then finish you. Not finish the job. It finish you. So that's one thing that we can, selling point. When people ask you, okay, how to fight against problem of the risk of agentic AI. Number one, DLP. Number two, privilege access management. No, yes and no lah. But the point is, but the goal story is AI will talk with AI with their AI language. You never know. Right, but of course, you in the process you may adopt some AI in between. Like if you do CI/CD, you put AI. But nowadays, most of the agentic AI is the one-man band. You just give them and do all the things. I think it's not Chinese or not. Yeah, you need if your process have AI to check in, yes. But nowadays we just use like if you use code, you just ask them to do this project, update this code, they will do all the way. Yeah, that's the problem. That's the problem. So yes, yes and no lah. Yes and no lah. Yeah, because if you trust, because the logic behind is we cannot trust AI. Yeah. Uh-huh. 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 All those have AI to, of course, they for those abnormal behavior monitoring, all adopt AI. Yeah, of course. Yeah, that of course have most of the cloud solutions now have AI element. Yeah. Like for example, for yeah. But have you ever know the God you cannot control? Yeah, it say you yeah. So you just tell them show them the new stuff. So those the one I just mentioned is Pocket OS. Uh-huh. Mm-hmm. I know lah. Uh-huh. Mindset problem. Sakura. I think yeah, I agree lah. More or less, so you start.
No, then the thing is deployment 3 months.
No, then you say you need people to manage it. Then that's it. Sorry, SMB.
Yeah, I know. I do understand. I do understand. Not SME lah. Yeah, because not just for actually for JumpCloud. DevOps.
Sort of, but the automation we do.
Yeah, actually for not for few people's company lah. at least we have a central directory for like 50 to 100 parts user, that you start to have this problem, right? If just 5 people, not necessary. Yeah.
Usually the case,
oil and gas,
you must make them have the need to use this.
Yeah, the problem
So you
is
just start to sell the concept
the
first.
industry is very
Just ask him question.
cost sensitive.
Like I said, the 3 star human and just how you put that together.
And it's very difficult to explain to them that how this will impact your business and how efficient it will be cost over time. I mean, we understand as a business owners to provide service. For us, it's everything in our unconscious brain. Like we have on top of our head, but as a client, when they're paying some money for it, it's slightly difficult for them to understand that how to.
The worst part is when you tell them you need more, right? The first thought is
I think yeah, I understand. I agree lah. You cannot randomly tell them this story they will buy. Won't.
Some bosses use the password for 10 years already, never changed them. They never feel that it's anything wrong with that. They find it okay.
Yeah. So
I mean, I buy the solution.
Because we also do break glass approach where we have customer, we remove all
like what you say just now, all I agree.
Spare one account.
Yeah.
Because this is what we do.
Customer, they ask
period for this.
Sorry?
What is
trial
the trial
period.
period
Yeah,
for
trial
the service?
Trial
period.
Trial period.
Miss
When you
1 month.
install the app, you give some trial, like
Yeah.
a co-pilot session.
Hey,
Yeah.
you know, if you can do an app or to install on their system, then run.
Or unless you can have your
all
developer
the
AI agent, they run all this.
that's
say
the
only
boss.
sell one agent.
The boss called you.
Okay.
Oh, this one I must buy. I tell you.
You want to sell.
Really.
That means I only sell one AI agent. But underneath what you do, I don't care. Yeah, you consolidate all the solutions.
Actually, that's what a lot of clients are looking for.
Yeah.
And
They just want one thing, but they don't care what you do.
Yeah.
They don't tell me how you
And
do.
also like this type of solution, right? We might need to give them a 30 days pilot free project. We implement everything, we show them what is the outcome. But of course, we have to invest our time and efforts, and there is a possibility after 30 days they will say, okay, sorry, we don't want. Then we have to remove everything. Like, I mean, that's
Yeah. 1 month front facing.
That's the real market.
Very good.
Yeah.
Clients are very more demanding.
Correct.
Yeah. They will say, you have AI lah, AI can do anything.
Running AI token develop.
Wow.
AI agent enjoy everything.
we need a big investor. just burning the tokens.
The next day your boss wake up, see a token, shit.
So that's why we need find our investor first.
But I think we need a front facing.
Yeah. So I think actually for such kind of solution, the deal come for two reasons. Majority. One is compliance or audit requirements. One is they have some incident. Yeah.